Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Hi, and welcome to Just Minding My Business Media with executive producers
Ida Crawford
and Ruth Haskins. We sincerely hope you have found joy in this day and a place of calm. Today we have coming to the mic Angela Marshall, a motivational presenter, bestseller author, creative content consultant, ex-NFL wife, and business owner of In Other Words by Stone. Also known as Author Stone, she is a positive words powerhouse that utilizes her personal life experiences of struggle, strength, and success to captivate audiences and readers abroad. Angela is also a community advocate, youth mentor, and supporter. So welcome, Angela. So glad to have you with us.
Hi, ladies. How are y'all?
How are you?
I am doing amazing. I am, even though the world may be in a crisis, I am in a Christ is. So I am doing fabulous.
Okay. I love it. Crisis. I know that's right. Yes. So we just got the book and started reading it, and oh my God, I am so blown away. And I'm probably going to have this read by tomorrow morning because it has, it reveals a lot of things about the things that you went through, and basically what led you to write this book? Let me just ask that question.
Well, thank you, ladies, for having me on this amazing podcast and platform. I am truly humbled. I am Angela Marshall, and I decided to pen Reality to Rags to Riches because I was simply tired of people assessing what they thought my life was like, and then I got tired of myself. I was complacent. I was a hot mess. I think I was a hot mess, a hotter mess, and the hottest of the messes at that particular time. So I decided to just take a chance and face myself and force myself to grow up. Now, with that being said, airing my dirty laundry has been very, very therapeutic. I never truly understood the whole societal cliche about the truth will set you free, because normally when we get the truth, we're hurting, or it seems like it's like, oh, I don't really want it because it's going to cause me pain or whatever. No, the truth for me at this particular stage and level in my life has set me completely free. So I wrote the book so that people would, one, understand how important it is to live vicariously through yourself, not through others, not through what you think others are going through or have gone through, or they have it so much better than you based on social media or blogs or, celebrity outlets and whatnot. Just totally discredit all of those. Live vicariously through yourself. And then I also wanted to just give some successful tips and tools for what I did in order to grow my business, and then also to grow my network.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. I know in the early years there was a lot of identity issues going on from what I could read.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It's, very challenging growing up, I guess, for me, being a light-skinned female in an all, Black environment, African-American environment. Like everyone I went to, from my family members, going to school, church, everything that made my background what it is was shaped and formed with the African-American culture, which is amazing. It's even more amazing when you know who you are. And since I did not, and it wasn't about the family members, or I can't really say like my grandmother and grandfather or others that were so instrumental in who I am today, like I had identity issues because of them. That wasn't it. it was just listening to radio, magazines, different, outlets that try to make you into this cookie cutter person and say you have to look this way, be this way, act this way, drive this way, marry this type person, be married before a certain age, have children. It's just all of this with the infamous, I call them the infamous days. So from that standpoint, I was like just a mess as a child. And then what I later on found out is that suffering from abandonment and rejection issues, because I did not have my mother nor my father around. Now, my grandmother and grandfather were awesome. I mean, they were married. They, were together up until, respectfully, both of them, their deceased time. However, it's really difficult when you're a child and one, you don't have one parent in your life, then you don't have the other parent in your life, and you're thinking, well, what's wrong with me? But you see them and you talk to them from time to time, which is what I was doing. I just, somewhere along the line, I just felt very alone. I felt like I was misunderstood, I guess. And then I guess once I started seeing that I was different as far as color and hair texture and whatnot, and other people started, on me with it, it was just very difficult. So I suffered through that. And then I will say, even as an adult, sometimes I still have that anxiety, like I've done something wrong, or like there's something, wrong with me because of outer stereotypes about my outer appearance.
When were you able to grab hold of that and recognize that that really wasn't that important, that you had more value than everybody else's perception?
Oh my goodness, I'm so ashamed to say it, but I really just started to take a deep look at everything in my life at the age of 40, and I'm 48. So the pivotal point for me was when my mother died in August of 2013, and we had an opportunity to have that one final conversation where, I just asked her, I was like, you weren't around, even though I know she was living vicariously through herself. My mom lived a very free life. And I just felt, I was angry, I was bitter, I was mad with her for so long. Like, why didn't you want me? I don't understand. I didn't have my dad, and then you had opportunity to take me with you, and, that kind of didn't happen. Why? What was the problem? So after I talked to her, and then eventually she, died of cervical cancer, it was like, and that was in August of 2013, January of 2014, I call it some sort of transitioning, like her life, her death gave me life. And I know that sounds really crazy, but my mom was such a vibrant and a fierce and just a feisty woman who lived out loud every day, and I did not. Until I think, her passing, and then those days that we had conversation and how she talked to me and she gave me truth, she gave me honesty. I think at that point, it was like I found or gained the permission to live unapologetically me.
Okay, I like that.
I like that.
And
too.
so many people wait an entire lifetime to be given permission, and we just need to give it to ourselves.
You're right.
Absolutely. And it's so pivotal how different things happen in your life that take you to that place.
Yes.
And I'm sure there has been people in your life that has mentored you and coached you around that. But until that day, until you perceive it and get that aha moment, it just doesn't happen.
Absolutely. I agree, because I've had amazing people my entire life, from teachers, educators, ministers, pastors, leaders, aunts, uncles, friends, godparents that are just phenomenal. But you're right, because it's kind of like, I'll tell you another thing. It's like when I study, biblical and scripture references, it's like I've heard them my entire life. I grew up in the church, and I've said certain things, but only when I think like my whole mentality, my mindset, that spiritual connection then connects with what that word says, then I believe it. And I start, it's like I start doing it and I just start acting upon it. So yeah, I think that definitely had a lot to do with it. During the time that I was going through so many ups and downs and highs and lows in my life, even during my marriage to my ex-husband. And that's why we're very good friends now. But we don't harbor any ill will, no bitterness towards each other. He agrees with my platform. He supports my platform. It wasn't him. And I can't stress that enough. Like, I think it was all things in time. I needed to go through everything that I went through the exact way that I went through it in order for me to have the platforms, the businesses, be the person that I am today. So, yeah.
I get a mouthful. That is something that most people never get to. They complain about their past and they complain about, everything that happened. But really, in order for us to get to any place in our lives, most of us, if we are honest, we will say that everything that we went through has brought us to where we are today. And if it's a good place, it doesn't mean that you're rich and famous or anything like that. Just a good place.
That's right.
It's because we went through all those things and we were able to not just go through them, but to, how can you say it, sift through them.
Yes.
Take the good stuff from it, even though it's painful, because sometimes there are some painful lessons in there.
Oh, yeah.
Sift through it. And
I call it sift and shift. You got to sift.
Okay.
Make the shift.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That big shift. You don't linger in it. You don't live in there. I know someone who does that, and it's really annoying to hear it because they just live in their past and what happened. And it's like, you know what? That's over.
Yes.
Where are you going to go from there?
Right.
Absolutely.
Where are you going to go? Have you learned anything from it? Are you going to try to bring something out of it? It doesn't have to be anything enormous, just an awareness, something that you can share with someone else, maybe just to encourage another person.
That's right.
But,
it's all about growth.
Yes, it is. And we're going to be growing till we leave this earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because there's more stuff to come.
Absolutely. I always tell people when they look at me as some sort of role model or like, oh, well, you arrived. No, I haven't. I am a forever student. And I love that title. I really do, because learning, I think, is a part of the process of becoming who you were created to be. Yeah. Not who you think you want to be, but who you were actually created to be. Because there's a difference. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a this or that. I mean, like, you name it. And some of those things I actually was pretty good in. But it wasn't until I got sick and tired of me, and I got sick and tired of this outer perception of me. And I wrote the book, and then I started my business, creative writing. And, once I look back over my life, it's funny how I saw traces. I can pick out traces of everything that I'm doing right now, from storytelling to speaking to ghostwriting, grant writing, helping people with their businesses, with their documentation practices, everything. I was doing that anyway. It's just that, other dynamics, I guess, caused me to veer, into certain places and certain spaces. But, once you get back in your lane, and again, I tell people it's not about one lane, because I have multiple lanes. I just stay in that particular lane for whatever that lane is, is intended for. But once you find it, it, because even through the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, I wouldn't have it any other way. I will stay on this road until, how they say, the wheels fall off.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes, absolutely. And in the book, I noticed that you really speak highly of your husband. There is, and I like the way you respect the relationship. Even though it was ups and downs and trials and tribulations, you respect it. I don't hear a lot of animosity, or you did this or you did that. And I think that's important, because when you separate from somebody, 9 times out of 10, it's both people. Everybody had a part in it.
Yeah.
It is, and it was. It was him, just as much him as it was me. And now that I'm able to face that and freely say it, it's like I see him how I see myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest thing in relationships, is to recognize that it takes two to tango,
Yes.
and you're both making steps and movements. So
Yes.
it's not one person, it's both of you. And sometimes you just can't get the steps to work together, you know? You're like stepping on each other's
100%
toes.
agree, because now it's so funny. We talk about everything, you know, for our two amazing adult children that we have, our businesses, different things, just life. We talk so freely, and it's like, where did this person come from? I couldn't stand you when we were together. But it's all about maturity and growth. And I think that because I decided not to just, you know, have this forever animosity towards him, or anger or bitterness, or you messed my life up. No, certain choices and decisions, different things that I did, different things that he did, led us to the point to where we both just said, enough, we give up. I don't think, you know, you're going to help me continue to grow, and I'm not going to help you continue to grow. There's this rap song from back in the day that said, it takes two to make a thing go right.
Yeah.
It takes two to make a thing go wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And ladies, let me say this. When I accepted my responsibility, I'm talking about from the beginning and the end, it's like she mentioned earlier, my whole world started to shift. And my mind started just not worrying about all of the pain or the, you know, discord that we once had. I just wanted nothing but, you know, thankfulness and just gratefulness for him. I wanted his business. I wanted his life, whoever he was with. I wanted them to do what I could not. And that's true growth. That's phenomenal growth. So, you know, and when I talk to him, because a lot of people ask me about the book and they're like, oh, I, you know, bet your ex-husband, you know, didn't approve. Yes, he did. You know, I talked to him every step of the way about the book, and I told him what it was going to be about. I'm not revealing any NFL secrets. I'm not bashing him. I'm not, you know, belittling, definitely not denouncing money. Like some people were like, oh, well, you know, are you saying you didn't enjoy the NFL money or the materialistic things? No, not at all. You know, when you read the book, you get a very clear understanding of my immaturity, just how I was a mess, how I was not suited and I was not fit for that particular lifestyle at that time, because I just wasn't who I needed to be, period.
Yeah, so that's what I got, you know, as I perused through the book. That's what I got. It was all about your growth and where you wasn't at the time and where you are now.
Absolutely. And that's the whole reason, you know, purpose for the book was just to share my lack, my lessons, and then, you know, towards the end where I talk about what my true riches, my aha moments for my true riches, I talk about my love and my light, you know, and so it all makes me who I am. And, you know, I don't speak, the book does not speak, nor was it written or intended to speak for all NFL wives. That's why it is singular and is individual NFL wife.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be surprised at some of the things, some of the messages that I get, like, you don't speak for all it. No, I do not. You know, it's clearly on the book who I speak for, and it's autobiography of Angela Marshall. That's me. I didn't include any other wives. It's just, you know, different things that I was going through at the time. And I think that a lot of that has to do me being, you know, a lot more humble and recognizing my deficient areas and being just, you know, facing myself to say, yeah, girl, you need to dig in and you need to do some work. I truly believe that that's why my business and, you know, different connections and networks that I have now, that's why they thrive the way they do, because, you know, I'm not one that's going to just point the finger or just try to figure out what you did wrong or what went wrong. It's like, well, let me see, what did I do? What could I have done better so that I can be more value added?
Absolutely. And that's the only person, really, in reality, that's the only person you can speak for is you.
That's it.
Yeah, you can't read anybody else's mind. You can't explain somebody else's experiences.
Right.
The only people who can really speak for is ourselves.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So how can people get in touch with you?
So thank you again for having me. I appreciate it. My website is www.inotherwordsbystone.com, and I am on every social media outlet known to man. So if you just Google, I be working it too. That's another part. Hey, you have to sow into your niche, which is what you do well. You got to sow into your network, all of the connections with the fabulous people and their platforms, podcasts, and just, their mindset and their knowledge. And then it also helps you, up your net worth. So, but I am everywhere, guaranteed. All you have to do is Google Angela Marshall. And, if your listeners, your viewers feel so inclined to reach out to me, even if, I say this and it's with all sincerity, even if it's not for a product, if it's not for a book, if it's not for a service, if I know somebody that can help you, or if I can help you in any way, I'm willing to do that 100%.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, shifting gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about your business.
Okay.
And what you do.
Absolutely. I am a creative writing consultant. And what that is I help people with their resumes, bios. I do grant writing, proposals, bids. Here recently, I have acquired quite a few clients to help them write their book, ghostwriting. And I am also now in the business of helping people with their documentation, getting everything in order, organized electronically. And that just kind of fell into my lap too. But again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these things I was already doing. I just didn't know. One, I didn't know I could get paid for doing some of the things that I'm doing, especially running my mouth and talking about my life. I had no idea. And, that's from a motivational, inspirational speaker. And being able to just help people take their businesses to another level, either with slogans, speeches. I do content writing for websites, all of that, you name it. Anything dealing with words, I'm your girl.
Okay, I know that's right.
Very good. Excellent.
Yes, indeed. You are busy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this. I have learned over the last 3 years how to organize and prioritize. So, yes, I think that when people say, I wear a lot of hats and I do a lot of things, I have a lot of plates, which I do, but I control the portions on my plate, which is so important. See, that's how people get overwhelmed. That's how they get anxiety, burnout. You have to take control of your time, and you have to manage it accordingly. And so that's one of the things, because I was just trying to earn $1 and I'll do resume training, or I'll do, grant, I can take on this and that, knowing that, when was the time, when were there going to be time for me, which is uber important, So I had to really focus and just, try to get organized to the best of my ability to make sure that I could do all of these things successfully and efficiently and effectively. Because I'm not one, I can assure you, if you come to me with a project and it's something that I don't really feel like I can give it my full attention, and I'm going to be an asset to it, I'm going to pass you along to someone else that can really give you what you need so that your project can be successful.
Yes.
We have to watch out for those little pitfalls, because a lot of times people, they take on these things just because they want your money, but the project is crap. So,
right.
I've just learned, because again, being a person out front and how detrimental words are and how people can really tear into your into your reputation and your character and whatnot by the work that you do. You have to be very, very careful, and just make sure that you can give the time that you will want, and the focus that you will want somebody to give to you.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Now, the ghostwriting. We talked a little bit about I think the last time grant writing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can we talk a little bit about ghostwriting? Because I see like a lot of the celebrities, they come out with books,
Yes.
and I'm like, how in the way in the world did they get time to write a book?
They don't. Well, okay. Some of them do. However, for me and my clients, we do it 3 ways. One, there are interviews, face-to-face interviews. Then I also send sets of questions for different things based on the content and the topic that they want to speak about in their book. Mm-hmm. And then the third thing is I have to do research on that topic, on that content. I'll, without telling too much for the client that I have, one of the clients that I have now, I'm writing a book. He has a phenomenal story. In his story line, it's about homelessness, how he went from homelessness to just, all of the accomplishments that he has now. So I actually have been going down and talking to other homeless people just to kind of get a feel. Now I've talked to him and I've got his perspective, but I also want to just really be so, I guess, engrossed and engaged with what he's telling me so that I can write it in a way where when people read it, like, I want you to be captivated by it. I want to, to draw you in so that you fully understand his story. And I don't want it to be just another story about, okay, from homeless to riches, or from homeless to, this. Just like with my story, that's why I chose certain areas or certain words, or certain, points for me to bring out that may be a little different from another rags to riches story. Mm-hmm. So when you're ghostwriting, you have to really be cognizant of words, because that's really what's going to lure that reader in. And then also, when people read certain things, or if you have something catchy from the beginning that's going to just draw them in, they're more inclined to say, wow, okay, well, let me tell so-and-so about this book this amazing book, or this blog, or this magazine article that I read. And, that's how you get your material, material passed on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, that's interesting, because, I've heard of ghostwriters, but I never actually met one. And I know,
people that don't have time to do what they need to do, they hire us.
Right. But I see there's a process, a serious process with it. Mm-hmm. It's not just, putting some words on paper for somebody.
Now, some people do that. That's why that was going to bring forward. I'm pretty sure that was probably one of your next questions. You have to be very careful with who you hire to tell your story, because again, if someone is in business strictly and solely for money, they're probably not going to do a great job for you. Mm-hmm. Because it's all about the money. It's not necessarily trying to really think like you like. For this one client in particular, like, I'm asking him questions, and what's crazy is I can actually visualize him at that particular time in the homeless shelter, or him, at this Republican campaign where they're using homeless people to be fillers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And I think that's the difference between when you find someone in any field that is doing something that they love to do. And because I love words, because I love to write, and because I love stories so much, it's just, ghostwriting for me is, it's freeing for me, because I also give my clients that perspective, like, wow, look what you came through or overcame, or look how you're going to impact the world. Because that's a part of my vision and my mission, is to positively impact and influence through words, work, and wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. And that's very important. Nice. That is so important. Go ahead, Ruth.
I really appreciate the fact that you have almost a journalistic approach to dealing with your client. The fact that you are doing physical research. You're not sitting in the library anywhere. You're actually going out and meeting and talking to these people and walking in the places that they walk in. so that you do have the visuals that you need to be able to really bring his story to people in a way that will touch their hearts.
Yeah,
absolutely. One of my mentors has always told me that anything that you want to do, in a great capacity, like you really want to be a subject matter expert, you have to learn from the ground up. So it's not just so much as, like learning the grammatical errors and editing and taking what someone has said. It's about really putting myself in your position, seeing your vision, being your vision with you, so that we can have a great product. Because ultimately, yeah, I'm maybe the ghostwriter, and when people get the book, they're not going to know that I'm the ghostwriter, but I will know. And I always want to make sure that that there's quality work, and that is the same for everything that I do, even from a motivational speaking perspective. No two speeches that I have ever given in the last 4 years are the same. Bottom line, I don't copy and paste and cookie cut or anything. Because I feel like that's not a true reflection of saying thank you to the person who has requested me, or that's wanting my services and skills. I just don't. So I don't want to stand in front of this event or this crowd and give the exact same speech. Now all of it are along the same lines, but I do my research with that. I had a mother-daughter tea that I did for a particular sorority here locally. And it actually was more focused and geared towards I think the girls are like 9 to 14 or maybe 9 to 15, and they're called the Rosebuds. Well, I did the speech, but I included, like the roses are red, roses are blue. I didn't do that, but I did rosebuds are smart, rosebuds are, to kind of incorporate something for them so that they would remember it. If I felt like if I just stood at that particular time and just kind of bumped my gums about something that I would do, at another sorority event of people that were a little older, like it wouldn't resonate with them. Right. And that's important to me. Like when I walk away from the podium or the stage or from you, I want to impart something lasting into your life. Yeah. And I want it to be positive, something that you can carry, that you can take away. I don't know. I think now that I know what my purpose and what my light is in this world, I am just so elated to have the opportunity to have this path and the plans that God has bestowed upon me, but I want to do them to the best of my ability. Like I don't want to leave nothing on the table.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
That's a wonderful attitude.
It's the only attitude if you're out there serving. You can't half-step certain people.
You're right. You're right, but there's a lot of it going around, and that's why I try to tell people, no matter what you're looking for, I don't care. It could be you want somebody to paint your house, or you want somebody to, speak at an event. It's all the same. You really have to do your homework. You have to talk to people and see what their heart is. Don't just go with someone just because they're cheap, or because it sounds good, because sometimes a lot of that stuff, it truly is too good to be true, and it's not gonna necessarily have the impact or the influence that you're looking for. But I just feel like when you are requested, or when someone entrusts you with their event or with their project, just do it as if it was yours.
Absolutely. Simple as that. Put that love in it like it's yours.
Absolutely.
So again, Angela, how do people contact you?
So you can Google Angela Marshall. May get some other links on there too, but hey, that's all a part of the wonderful world of technology, right? Yeah. But you can Google Angela Marshall, or social media. I am plastered everywhere. please, by all means, reach out. Or my personal website is www.inotherwordsbystone.com, or they can just come directly to you.
Okay.
And y'all can reroute them.
Okay.
Yes,
We would be
exactly.
glad to do that.
Absolutely. Well, you know we're going to have you back because you do so many things. We're going to touch on each one of those things as we begin. As this relationship is on now, we
Yes.
got the
Mhm.
book. I'm glued to it, and I want to thank you for that. It was definitely a beautiful gift to receive. As soon as I got it out the mailbox, I was like smiling all over my. I know my
Yes.
neighbors was like, "What is she smiling about?"
Well, I tell you what, I am truly honored just, for you guys to even consider me and to have the opportunity to sit before your audience and your viewers, because I know that you have a brand, you have a business, you have, your own mission that you're building for people, and you don't want to just have anybody on there that's not going to represent appropriately,
Well,
So
you absolutely
anytime,
represent.
You
yes.
absolutely got it going on.
Yes.
So anytime I am, I'm asked, because there aren't, believe it or not, some people are like, oh, well, you're just all over the place. So I know that, you get a lot of requests, which I do. But just as many sometimes turn me down when I do submissions. Some of them I turn down too, because I research, I look at their audience, I look at, comments and their values and their views, and I'm like, no, that's not really going to be a good fit.
Mhm.
Because I think that with my background, the story and life of an ex-NFL wife, that's the first thing people think. Like, I want to go on and just bash and tell all of these crazy, stuff,
Right.
and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, no, this is about me and my growth, and that's it. I'm not getting on to try to belittle anyone or try to judge anyone or be critical. Either you're going to talk about me and my growth, or it's just not a good fit. So thank you, ladies. I am truly honored.
We are truly
We are
honored.
truly honored. Thank you so much for being here with us, for spending
Absolutely.
this time.
Word on the street says there's something new at Just Minding My Business Media. You've heard our podcast, Just Minding My Business Radio, that brings news and views you can use. That airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. on iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and Spreaker. Well, now you can watch Just Minding My Business. That's right, Just Minding My Business Media now has a TV presence on Raven International TV Network, broadcast on Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. Your business, through Just Minding My Business Media, has exposure on internet radio, major social media platforms, and now TV, through Just Minding My Business dynamic digital marketing platform. Don't listen to the word on the street. Hear it for yourself. Visit jmb.asistercircle.org to learn how you can take your business, your vision, to the next level. Thank you to the amazing women of A Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, and our media partners. Let Just Minding My Business Media promote your business. For information, visit us at jmb.asistercircle.org. That's jmb.asistercircle.org. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks, for when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.